You are being manipulated, and you don't even know it. Right now, someone is controlling you. They're not bigger than you, not stronger. They're not even smarter. But they know something you don't. They've read Machiavelli. And while you're trying to be good, kind, and fair, they're playing a completely different game. In this video, I'll show you how Machiavelli's brutal laws of power, used by emperors, politicians, CEOs, and con artists, can be used to manipulate anyone. Not with kindness, but with strategy, psychology, and ruthless truth. As Machiavelli once said, men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs, that a deceiver will never lack victims. Let's dive into the dark playbook of control. Niccolò Machiavelli wasn't a monster. He was a realist. Born in Florence in 1469, he lived during an age of political chaos and ruthless betrayal. While most people dreamed of utopias, he watched the powerful win by lying, backstabbing, and manipulating the weak. He didn't write fairy tales. He wrote The Prince, a manual on how power really works. And what he discovered wasn't pretty. But it was true. In this video, you'll learn how to control others using Machiavellian tactics, psychological triggers that make people obey, how to use appearances to deceive and win, real-life examples from history and today, and why silence, cruelty, and fear are more useful than you think. Law 1: Control through perception, not reality. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. Machiavelli. People don't obey truth. They obey perception. If you want to manipulate others, don't waste time being good. Focus on appearing good, strong, honest, kind. Because the human brain is lazy. Psychologically, people use heuristics, mental shortcuts. They judge a book by its cover. If you dress well, they assume success. If you speak with confidence, they believe you're right. If you act calm during chaos, they follow you. Psychology fact: the halo effect shows that people attribute good traits to those who look good or powerful, even without evidence. So instead of changing your character, change your costume. Control perception. Control people. Law 2: Fear is more reliable than love. It is much safer to be feared than loved. Machiavelli. Love is fickle. Fear is forever. A boss who wants to be loved will be disrespected. A parent who fears upsetting their child will be manipulated. Fear makes people obey even when you're not watching. Because the threat of punishment lives in their minds, rent-free. But Machiavelli also warned, don't be hated. Fear should come from respect, not cruelty. Push too far, and people will revolt. Psychology fact: fear activates the amygdala, the brain center for survival. Once fear is triggered, logic shuts down. That's when you control behavior. Law 3: Master the art of strategic deception. A prince never lacks legitimate reasons to break his promise. Machiavelli. Lying is a sin? Maybe. But in power games, it's a strategy. To manipulate others, you must lie with purpose. Not recklessly. Strategically. Machiavelli believed that keeping promises is optional, if breaking them serves your higher goal. And it works because people want to believe. They crave hope, loyalty, and certainty. Use that. Tell people what they want to hear, until it's time to show them the truth. Example: politicians promise change. CEOs promise transparency. Lovers promise forever. How many deliver? Psychology insight: humans suffer from confirmation bias. They believe what aligns with their hopes and ignore warning signs. Learn to exploit that. Say what soothes them. Do what serves you. Law 4. Use silence as a weapon. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Machiavelli's silence isn't weakness. It's control. Talk too much, and you reveal your plan. Stay silent, and people project their fears or fantasies onto you. Psychology fact: in negotiation studies, silence after an offer makes the other person uncomfortable, and they're more likely to concede. Silence creates tension. Mystery. Authority. Use it in 3 ways. 1. To intimidate, say less in conflict. Let them wonder. 2. To build power, speak only when it matters. Words become rare and valuable. 3. To test loyalty, stay silent and observe who remains, who turns. In a noisy world, silence screams power. Law 5. Know that people are predictable. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few know what you really are. People like to think they're unique. But in truth, they're predictable animals, driven by emotion, fear, ego, and desire. Once you understand that, you can control them." Psychology fact: people are driven by 6 core needs. 1. Certainty. 2. Variety. 3. Significance. 4. Connection. 5. Growth. 6. Contribution. Machiavellian manipulation works by targeting these needs. Make someone feel important, they'll follow you. Make them fear loss, they'll do anything to avoid it. Make them believe you're their solution, they'll become loyal. The truth? People don't want freedom. They want comfort. Security. A leader. Be that leader. Law 6. Divide to dominate. Machiavelli believed that a wise ruler must find means by which his citizens will always and in every sort of circumstance have need of the state and of him. Unity is dangerous. If people are united, they can resist. If they're divided, emotionally, socially, politically, they're easier to control. Create conflict among others. Encourage jealousy. Favoritism. Insecurity. Psychological principle. Humans crave status. If you make people compete for your approval, they'll fight each other instead of questioning your authority. This is how empires stayed in power. And how managers, cult leaders, and manipulators still operate today. Keep them divided. And you stay untouchable. Law 7. Manipulate emotion, not logic. Men are driven by 2 principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Logic is weak. Emotion is nuclear. If you want to control someone, forget facts. Tap into feelings. Fear of rejection. Desire for status. Guilt. Hope. Insecurity. Psychology fact: emotional appeals are 31% more effective than rational ones in persuasion. That's why marketing, politics, and media use emotional storytelling, not spreadsheets. If you want to persuade a crowd, don't argue facts. Tell a story. Trigger fear, joy, or outrage. That's how movements start. And how minds are hijacked. Law 8. Reflect their desires. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar. The best manipulators don't speak. They mirror. Make people feel seen, understood, and admired, and they will follow you. Reflect their dreams. Their ego. Their insecurities. Psychology insight. This is called mirroring. Subtly copying someone's language, values, or body language builds rapport and trust. Once they trust you, they obey. You don't push. You pull, by becoming the fantasy they crave. Law 9. Be willing to betray, at the right moment. The promise given was a necessity of the past, the word broken is a necessity of the present. Loyalty is beautiful. But in the world of power, it's a trap. Machiavelli warned that when the moment comes to choose between loyalty and survival, choose survival. If someone becomes a liability, cut them off. If your alliance no longer serves you, break it. Because power isn't about morals. It's about results. Modern example. In business, companies pivot and restructure, laying off thousands to preserve profit. It's brutal. But it's effective. Don't betray emotionally. Betray strategically. Law 10. Always stay one step ahead. He who is the cause of another becoming powerful is ruined. Manipulation fails when you get too comfortable. Always analyze. Who's rising in power? Who's whispering against you? Who's getting too close? Use information as armor. Control rumors. Anticipate betrayal. Outmaneuver threats. Psychological tip. The status game, everyone around you is fighting for social rank. Watch the players, know the rules, and position yourself ahead of the curve. Never become predictable. Because when you do, you become a target. Machiavelli didn't invent manipulation. He just exposed it. He saw the world for what it is, not what it should be. And what he discovered was simple. The ends justify the means. If you want to win, you must be willing to play the dark game. But remember, power without purpose is hollow. Use these strategies not to destroy, but to protect, build, and lead. With clarity, strength, and fearlessness. Like, share, and never forget. The game is always being played. The only question is, are you playing it, or being played?